Mormon prophet Joseph Smith's first known sexual affair was with a teenager named Fanny Alger, who was living with Smith and his first wife Emma in their Kirtland, Ohio home. Alger came to live with the Smiths in Kirtland during early 1833 when she was 16 years old and stayed at their home as a housemaid. Benjamin Johnson, a member of the Mormon Council of 50 and private secretary of Joseph Smith, said, "In 1835, at Kirtland, I learned from my sister's husband, Lyman R. Sherman, who was close to the prophet, and received it from him, that the ancient order of plural marriage was again to be practiced by the church. This, at the time, did not impress my mind deeply, although there lived then with his family a neighbor's daughter, Fanny Alger, a very nice and comely young woman about my own age, toward whom not only myself, but everyone, seemed partial, for the amiability of her character, and it was whispered even then that Joseph loved her." Smith's sexual advances toward Fanny Alger soon became the talk of the town. Martin Harris, one of the 3 witnesses to the Book of Mormon, recalled that the prophet's servant girl claimed he had made improper proposals to her, which created quite a talk amongst the people. Mormon Fanny Brewer similarly reported much excitement against the prophet, involving an unlawful intercourse between himself and a young orphan girl residing in his family and under his protection. Emma discovered the sexual affair between Smith and Fanny and exploded in anger. Caught with his hand in Fanny's cookie jar, Smith confessed. A noticeably pregnant Fanny eventually was kicked out of the house by Emma, as reported thusly. Former Mormon apostle William McLellan later wrote that Emma Smith substantiated the Smith-Alger affair. According to McLellan, Emma was searching for her husband in Alger one evening, when through a crack in the barn door, she saw him and Fanny in the barn together alone on the haymow. McLellan, in a letter to one of Smith's sons, added that the ensuing confrontation between Emma and her husband grew so heated that Rigdon, Frederick G. Williams, and Oliver Cowdery had to mediate the situation. After Emma related what she had witnessed, Smith, according to McLellan, confessed humbly and begged forgiveness. Emma and all forgave him. While Oliver Cowdery may have forgiven his cousin Joseph Smith, he did not forget the incident. 3 years later, when provoked by the prophet, Cowdery countered by calling the Fanny Alger episode a dirty, nasty, filthy affair. Chauncey Webb recounts Emma's later discovery of the relationship. Emma was furious and drove the girl, who was unable to conceal the consequences of her celestial relation with the prophet, out of her house. Webb, Smith's grammar teacher, reported that when the pregnancy became evident, Emma Smith drove Fanny from her home. Webb's daughter, Annalisa Webb Young, a divorced wife of Brigham Young, remembered that Fanny was taken into the Webb home on a temporary basis. Fanny stayed with relatives in nearby Mayfield until about the time Joseph fled Kirtland for Missouri. Fanny left Kirtland in September 1836 with her family, though she married non-Mormon Solomon Custer on the 16th of November 1836 and was living in Dublin City, Indiana, far from Kirtland. Her name still raised eyebrows. Fanny Brewer, a Mormon visitor to Kirtland in 1837, observed much excitement against the prophet, involving an unlawful intercourse between himself and a young orphan girl, residing in his family and under his protection.